Hey now, Christian Hanna horror here, guys. How are y'all doing? Let's do another horror Blu-rays I want you to own. I mean, I feel like it's been a little bit since I've done one, so it's time, right? So honestly, this list, I kind of just picked movies that I just think are good. Like I just wanted to do 5 movies that I'm a big fan of, and 'cause some of them are releases too, in a sense, but you'll see. But let's start right here. You see my shirt. I've got my new Maniac shirt on. We got to talk about Maniac. Now, there's a lot of variety when I show this one. You can get this release. I don't know if it's still in print, but I'm sure it's still out there, and it's probably more easily available now because of the 4K. Or you can get the Blue Underground 4K, which I'm sure I don't own any. I do own some Blue Underground 4Ks. I forgot which one I owned, and they're fantastic. I mean, if anybody's going to do a 4K treatment right, it's going to be Blue Underground, but this release is still fantastic. If you want to get this, I'm sure it's still easily available. You can get the 4K release of Maniac. But let me tell you just like about this movie, man. So the remake was in my top 10 greatest remakes of all time on the podcast. But the original is still better, I think. I think it still edges out the remake. This is one of those amazingly, moody, dark, creepy, sleazy slasher films from the 80s. I mean, it's really one of the best. It makes you want to take a shower when you're done. It's really brutal, but there's something there. It's not just like a gore fest. Like there's something there. It's a little bit more than skin deep Maniac. I think there's like a lot of really creepy, great elements going on in this movie, and quite frankly, it's one of the best. William Lustig directed. Tom Savini has one of the most amazing kill scenes I've ever seen in horror. Quite frankly, it's the best kill scene in the movie to me. It's so impactful. You gotta check this movie out if you haven't seen it. It's so worth owning. It's like a must-own kind of thing. It's not even like a questionable, just see it. You have to own Maniac. It's that good. So if you don't own this movie, you can get a cheaper version of this Blu-ray. You can get a 3-disc limited edition 4K scan of the Blu-ray, or you can get the 4K of the Blu-ray. I'd recommend any of them, quite frankly. You have to see this movie, Maniac. It is amazing. So much special features. You know how Blue Underground is. All right, let's talk about this. This one's interesting, but I got to bring it up. The Scream 5 film set. No, this is not Scream 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is Scream 1 through 3. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because I know that Paramount looks like, I think it's Paramount or just Miramax, really, are re-releasing the Scream movies on Blu-ray, and I see people buying them, and I'm sure that the picture quality is probably a little bit better on those. But the reason I want you to own this right here is what's at the bottom. Still Screaming and Scream the Inside Story. My favorite thing about this franchise, quite frankly, is literally this disc right here. These 2 documentaries are so good, so entertaining. They have so much rewatch value. I'm a documentary guy, but I'm serious. This disc is amazing. Feature-length documentaries with everybody in it. It is amazing. I don't know what to say. So this set is still the set I want you to own, hence the name of the title of the show. So if you don't own this and you haven't bought the Scream Blu-rays that just came out yet, you're thinking about it, I implore you to look into this one because those documentaries are 10 out of 10s. They're so good. So good. How about a little Silver Bullet? This is just a damn good movie. Like, I'm a big werewolf movie fan, and Silver Bullet, I don't think it gets lost in the shuffle, but it doesn't sit at the table with the heavyweights of the wolf movies, and I think that's a little unfair. I think Silver Bullet is story-wise is one of the best. I really dig the story. I think it's really hometown creepy-like, and it's got that Stephen King genuine feel. I think a little bit. I see a little bit of not criticism is a fair word about like the makeup effects for the wolf, but I actually really liked it. I thought it was great. I loved the characters in this one. This is just a damn good werewolf movie. If you haven't seen it, Silver Bullet, and it's a really good Scream Factory release. It looks really good. There's a lot of new interviews with the actors and audio commentaries. So this is a good release. But I love this movie, and it's got your boy Gary Busey, Gary Busey in here. But he's actually really good. Gary Busey's like a cool uncle in this movie. This is a good one. Like if you haven't seen Silver Bullet yet, this is a must own. I think this is just a damn good movie. I swear it's really good. I love Silver Bullet. All right. How about a movie that came out maybe 2 years ago, but it is just the real deal, guys. Son of a bitch. The Dark and the Wicked is, without a doubt, one of the best movies from 2020, I think, was the year. I'm going to call it 2020. Yeah. The Dark and the Wicked creeped me out big time. This movie was so atmospheric. I couldn't believe it. This is from the RLJE Films people. This is also a Shudder movie. I mean, it was on Shudder. It probably still is on Shudder. If you want to watch it before you buy it, that's totally fine, but I'm telling you, it's the real deal. I think that this movie is like the real deal. This very well could have been like an A24 type horror movie from some of those great directors doing work over there. But the Dark and the Wicked, I thought, was just the absolute real deal. This is a budget blue. You know that there's ROJEs. They're pretty cheap. But if you want to see, there's a cool Q&A with Marie Ireland and Michael Abbott Jr. in here. If you want to see that, that's the special features on this Blu-ray. But I'm telling you, this is a scary, scary good movie. I loved it. Last but certainly not least, let's go to some schlocky, fun crap. Severin's release of Night Killer is without a doubt one of the greatest bad movies ever. From the great Claudio Fragasso, the director of Troll 2, comes Night Killer. This may be his swan song. Like, this is his slasher entry. 1989. I love this movie. This movie is insane. Let me read you a little bit about this. Somewhere between Zombie 4 and Troll 2, writer-director Claudio Fragasso, here under the name Clyde Anderson, set out to direct a suspense thriller about a suicidal beauty, an unstable sleazebag, and a masked killer with a razor-fingered glove. But when the producer received Fragasso's cut, they hired his former partner Bruno Mattei to shoot additional scenes of graphic gore and released it in Italy as the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. Then you could have bought this movie with the slipcover that said Texas Chainsaw 3. The result is a part sicko giallo, part depraved slasher, and 100% batshit insanity that Euro Fever calls disturbing, nasty, and more inspired than the most Italian horror of the early 90s. This movie really is awesome. I mean, it is entertaining from the first 5 seconds. It's one of those movies that, like, you can't help but love it. So you got to get your hands on Night Killer, guys. It's the real deal. This is from Severin. They did a great job. I think this is a 4K scan. Yeah, it is. It's a 4K scan. Night Killer is a must for just trash slashers. You'll love it. It's part ripoff of Elm Street. It's also known as the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. And I think that this release came out after the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 actually did come out, and they still called it Texas Chainsaw 3. It's ridiculous. You've got to see this movie, guys. That's from Severin, Night Killer, the director of Troll 2. There you go. There's 5 Blu-rays I want you to own. Remember, a lot of variety on this Maniac. So if you want to save money, just get one that's cheaper because the movie's good. But if you want the best picture quality, there's the 4K. And if you're not 4K, but you do want a good picture quality, then you can see about getting this 3-disc 4K scan Blu-ray. There you go, guys. Horror Blu-rays I want you to own, volume 21, I believe. And I guess we'll see you next time. Have a good day. Who's ready for Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022? I sure am. See you guys next time.